In one round of independent testing, some green tea products on store shelves were found to deliver less than 10% of the EGCG you'd expect from a properly brewed cup. Less than 10%. If you're drinking green tea for the compounds the research keeps pointing back to, that's a real problem. And it's fixable once you know what to look for. I'm Olena Ivanova, nurse practitioner and medical director at Personalized Medicine. Today, we're going to talk about what the research shows for green tea and cancer, the specific cautions that matter if you're in active treatment, and how to find a product that actually delivers. Green tea comes from the leaves of Camellia sinensis. What's made it so interesting for cancer researchers is a family of plant compounds called catechins. These are antioxidants found in the leaf. The most studied one is EGCG, short for apigallocatechin gallate, and it's been the focus of a lot of compelling research. Here's what we're covering. First, what the research shows about green tea and cancer. Second, the specific cautions if you're in active treatment, and there are a couple that really matter. And third, how to find a product that actually contains what the label says. In laboratory studies, EGCG has been shown to do a few things that get cancer researchers' attention. It triggers apoptosis, that's programmed cell death in cancer cells. It interferes with angiogenesis, which is the process tumors use to build new blood vessels and grow. And it blocks several of the signaling pathways that cancer cells use to keep multiplying. That's a meaningful set of mechanisms, and it's why this compound has been studied so extensively. In a randomized trial published in Cancer Research, men with precancerous lesions in the prostate who took green tea catechins had significantly less progression to prostate cancer compared to men who took placebo. That's a real signal from a real human trial. Multiple large meta-analyses have looked at green tea consumption in populations around the world. Drinking 3 or more cups a day has been associated with reduced incidence of several cancers. The signal is most consistent for breast and prostate cancers. We're talking about a beverage that, when consumed regularly as part of a healthy eating pattern, is associated with measurable differences in cancer rates across large populations. So if you're looking for reasons to swap a soda or sugary drink for something with actual evidence behind it, green tea has the research to back that choice. One thing worth knowing, people metabolize EGCG differently. A gene called COMT, which produces an enzyme that breaks down catechins, comes in variants that affect how quickly your body clears EGCG. In our integrative care practice, genetic testing can identify if this variant is present, and our medical team uses that information to help determine appropriate EGCG dose levels for each patient. That kind of personalization is part of how we approach nutrition recommendations in our clinic. Regarding the research, there is a library inside the NutriLiv app that stays current as new studies come out. The recommendations evolve with the evidence, which matters in a field that's moving so fast. Now, green tea isn't right for everyone, and there are 2 specific situations where you need to talk to your oncology team before adding it. The first is bortezomib, brand name Velcade, used in multiple myeloma. Laboratory research has shown that EGCG actually binds to bortezomib and can reduce how well it works. So, if you are being treated with bortezomib, green tea and EGCG supplements need to be a conversation with your care team before you start. The second is tamoxifen. Used in some hormone receptor-positive breast cancers, there's preclinical research suggesting green tea catechins may affect how tamoxifen is metabolized. The evidence isn't as settled here as with bortezomib, but it's enough that your team should know about regular green tea use. These are exactly the kind of interactions we built into the NutriLiv apps. When you tell us about your treatment plan, ingredients with known interactions get flagged automatically. You shouldn't have to memorize all of this. One more thing we're saying briefly, there have been case reports of liver injury in people taking high-dose EGCG extract supplements, especially on an empty stomach. We see patients sometimes go all in on EGCG capsules, thinking more is better. The research doesn't support that. And the safety signal is concerning enough that brew tea is the form with both the strongest evidence and the better safety profile. Quick question for the community. If you are in active treatment, has your oncology team talked to you about supplements or things like green tea? Drop a comment. Your experience helps the people watching who are earlier in this process. Here's something the green tea conversation really covers. Not all green tea products actually deliver what the research is built on. Independent testing has surfaced a few patterns worth knowing about. First, EGCG content. The catechin levels across products vary enormously. Some bagged green teas have been found to deliver less than 10% of typical levels. The label says green tea, but the active compounds may not be there in any meaningful amount. Second, heavy metals. Tea plants pull lead and arsenic from soil, and most products test at low levels, but some have come in above strict thresholds. For someone drinking multiple cups a day during a multi-year treatment course, that's worth paying attention to. Third, the tea bag itself. Some bags are made from plastic-containing materials. Beyond microplastic concerns, there is evidence the material can bind to the catechins and reduce what actually makes it into your cup. Nothing on the box tells you any of this. So what do you look for? Independent verification is the answer. USDA organic certification addresses pesticides and certain contamination concerns. You can verify it on the USDA's public directory. Rainforest Alliance and Fairtrade certifications signal sourcing standards. For green tea supplements specifically, USP verified and NSF certified are the most rigorous credentials. Both verify that what's in the bottle matches the label and that contaminants are within acceptable limits. These are public directories, and you can check any product against them yourself. A few examples that carry credible, publicly verifiable credentials at the time of recording. So, for everyday brewed green tea, Lipton Green Tea Signature Blend with Jasmine is Rainforest Alliance certified, and independent testing has found heavy metals levels within strict thresholds. Bigelow Green Tea Classic is Ethical Tea Partnership certified and made by a long-standing U.S. family-owned company with published quality data. For decaffeinated, Yogi Pure Green Decaf is both USDA Organic and Rainforest Alliance certified. And for matcha, Jade Leaf Organic Ceremonial Matcha is USDA Organic certified and sourced from Japan. The research on green tea varies a lot by cancer type and treatment phase. The NutriLiv apps build recommendations around your specific diagnosis and treatment, not generic advice. Here's where this lands. Green tea has real evidence behind it. EGCG triggers programmed cell-death in cancer cells in laboratory studies, interferes with the blood vessel formation tumors need, and has been linked in human trials and large population studies to better cancer outcomes. For most people, swapping a soda or sugary drink for a few cups of green tea a day is a genuinely evidence-supported choice. That said, this isn't for everyone. If you are being treated with bortezomib for multiple myeloma, green tea can reduce how well your treatment works. That's a real conversation to have with your team before you start. If you're on tamoxifen, mention regular green tea use to your care team so they can weigh in. And skip the high-dose EGCG capsules the evidence supports the beverage, not the megadose extracts. Anyone in active treatment thinking about adding green tea as a regular habit should mention it to their oncology team. Not because it's risky for most people, but because your team is the only one who can tell you whether your specific treatment plan changes the math. What ingredients should we cover next? Drop it in the comments. The most requested ones get prioritized for upcoming episodes. If this was useful, the most helpful thing you can do is subscribe and share it with someone who needs it. Cancer is isolating, and information like this shouldn't be hard to find. Full references are in description, and thanks for watching.